Good morning, everyone. As you can see, it's still dark here. Yes, I got up really early. Okay. What reason? I'm here all by myself. When I'm here all by myself, I'll leave the dogs in the house. If they want to. If they want to go outside, they can too. But if they want to stay in the house, I let them stay in the house. One reason, yes, yeah, I try to get into this house. We don't lock our doors, but we live, right? Oh, but yeah, and sometimes you do get the alerts of someone who's done some crime and they haven't caught them yet, cruising around, right? Yes, never know if they're going to end up here. Well, I hope they don't for their own sake. Safety. So they were in the house, and I always think it's cute when you have a new dog. Okay, a new dog. Gus has been here 2 years, 2.5 years now, right? Yes? Okay, he's 2.5 years old. And it already rained. I don't have to water today. It's wonderful. Yesterday it rained, and the sun came out. It's like the perfect weather for my seeds, my plants, to start sprouting and growing more. It's like perfect, just perfect. Anyway, and I got to go out there today and harvest some. If it doesn't rain, I'm not going to go out there in the rain. Sometimes I don't mind getting wet. Sometimes I do. And now he's starting to develop his own way of communicating, right? I know him now well enough, right, that, let's see, this is, I think, slipping here a little, that I'm starting to understand what he's trying to tell me, right? Yes? It's just like with a baby when they start talking, mama, oh, oh yeah, it's coming, right? And then suddenly, they start to what? Are able to communicate more. Isn't that something amazing and wonderful? It happens like that with animals too, as they grow older. So Gus comes up, and he's the way I'm laying, he's nuzzling me a little bit, and I'm going, and I wake up, I'm going, what do you want? It was about, no, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. I said, what do you want? You want to go out? You need to go out? Yeah, so you had been in all night, so you're going, okay. So I said, all right, I'm going to get up. Let's go. I'm going down, and I'm looking at both of them. Jake's still laying flat, and here's Gus, and suddenly he stays at the second part of the stairs up there, and he stops. And I'm opening the door. I said, do you want to go out now? What's going on? And he's like, no, that's not what I want. I said, you sure? I said, I'm not getting up again in 10 minutes. Yeah. Well, anyway, close the door again. So I was like, oh, okay. So you just wanted to what? Make sure I'm still all right? Or yeah. Anywho, and then sure enough, it wasn't an hour later where he comes again into my room, and I'm kind of awake by then. I'd slept enough. Slept good, too. And he starts I said, what's the matter, Gus? What do you want? And he starts to, all this. And he has his own way of doing that. As I said, I knew, okay, now he's ready to go out. I know he's ready to go out. The first time I thought, what's he doing right now, right? And the second time I knew, so I got up, and sure enough, both of them were ready, right? Yes, so to go out. So they did. They went out, and I don't know, they're kind of on the porch right now. Too rainy for them to go too far, but they will. They don't care getting wet. So interesting, right? Yes, and I noticed and how, as I said, is developing his own way of letting me know kind of what he wants, right? Yes? Yeah, more so than when he was a puppy, for example. So interesting with animals. Yeah. So I went and looked up the definition of Deuteronomy, and it's the second law. Deuteronomy is translated as the second law of Moses, or the reminder again, the second time around to remind the Israelites about the Ten Commandments and the laws of heaven and God's direction and all that. So it's retold one more time. The thing is, though, it's being retold a little bit differently. Yes, yeah, interesting, right? Okay. Well, anywho, so there's that. Then I thought, okay, while I did that, I'm gonna go and check out, why do we have so many different races, right, on Earth? Because I just saw something where, God really wants to see us get past, right, all this race stuff and racism, right? And it's like, every time I hear that word, it just strikes a wrong chord within myself. I didn't grow up like that. Okay. Oh, so does racism not exist in Switzerland or something? I don't know. I didn't grow up like that. My family, there was never any kind of talk about races from different parts of the world either being more important or less important or whatever. Okay. Well, we had what in Europe? That horrific World War II, where so many Jews, 6 million plus, and it wasn't just Jews. It was also people who had a different opinion than what the Nazi nation wanted. The Nazis, what the Nazis stood for. And if you did not follow their whatever agenda, then yeah. Oh, is that racism now? Oh, what is that? A difference of opinion, and then someone gets killed for a difference of opinion. How about religions? You get killed because you have a different religion than someone else. Yes? Oh. Or persecuted, judged, and I don't know what. Oh. All right, is that racism too? No, that just has to do, why? I'm not getting it. So I didn't grow up with that, and it was something I was confronted with here in the United States, in an odd way too. So here's my thing about all that. I just watched, I love watching baking shows, especially the British one, okay? The British, JBO. The Junior Baking, and I could never figure out, what did the O stand for? I never figured it. Didn't think too much of it, but every time I see some Junior Baking, there should be a S. Oh, it's Bake Off. Okay. Oh, finally that comes. Oh, it's probably that, right? Yes. I figure something out. And love watching the kids too. Oh my gosh, are they good? I mean, dear me, and they're so young. Some of them 9 years old. Then there are teenagers too. All right. There was this girl. She was quite good at what she was doing. And oh my gosh, she had the most beautiful, perfect complexion. What? In a black girl. Yes. So, I've seen, again, the pity party stuff. Yeah, I'm a victim of race. I'm a victim. God didn't want me to be white, so I'm black, kind of thing. What, you people nuts? Well, anyway, if I offend anyone, I apologize. But you got to hear this. Because you think, okay, so some people think out there and give testimonies of, I wanted to be whiter. I wanted to be lighter skinned. Lighter skinned, for example, here in the United States was better. I don't know if it's in Africa like that. No idea. And certain other things, about on how difficult it is to put makeup on, this and that, because you have what? Black skin rather than, pink skin. Okay, all right. But here's the thing that I think people of the black community overlook. is someone like me. And I have no doubt there are many people out there like that, from all different places in the world. I think that dark skin like that, the darker the better, is beautiful. Yes? And again, what comes even more through so than in your appearance as more beautiful is when you are confident, you're proud of yourself per se, you're comfortable with yourself, and that shows. Let yourself shine. Doesn't matter what color you are. It's the same for me. I grew up, okay, was one thing that I said with black people. I have very little. I went to school with one girl, and we loved her hair. And she didn't mind. She, hey, can I just touch your hair? You know, she'd go, yeah, go ahead. And we stayed friends for a long time, even after school. And I asked her once, I said, hey, were you really not bothered by that? She said, no, are you kidding me? That made me important, right? Yeah? So, attitude again. Anyway, so so that was it. And there was never any kind of nothing. The differences were curious to the rest of us, not something that we would point fingers at. But there was one thing that I grew up with, oddly enough, and again, didn't really have any kind of contact with, was Asian people with their almond-shaped eyes. That was somewhat made fun of, right? And I didn't get that. I did come across that, and I didn't get it. I said, well, but they're born like that. Why would anybody make fun of that? Right? What's the purpose of that? That doesn't make any sense. That was me. Right? Yes? That is why. Yes. Okay, I'm not going to go there because people really disagreed with me. But if a man defends his woman in the way that I've seen one man defend his woman, in a way, and then got so twisted around, this and that, as if making fun of something I don't think is fun, that's wrong. That's just wrong. Then, again, what are you going to do? Right? I look at things like that and going, I'm not getting the world out there. That's just, what? Stupid. That's just downright disgraceful and stupid to me. But anyway. But I think that Asian people, right, and they don't mess around with their eyes. There's so much plastic surgery going on with that now because, again, you want to look like a white person? Come on now. You're so beautiful. Huh? Asian people, to me, are so beautiful. Doesn't matter where they come from on their continent. Beautiful people. Same for me. People from Africa, or you still have, right? Your complexion and your heritage just comes more through on one side than another, right? It's beautiful to me. Why can't people just be proud of the complexion that they have? Oh, that's because of a small percentage out there that doesn't know how to behave. So everybody suddenly needs to start misbehaving, including the people affected by, as I said, a small percentage of people now. I think one thing to remember is that things have changed over time, right? With some really, as I said, awful things. I can't believe. But then what are you expecting from people who come over here and the first thing they do is do what? Just about rot out another civilization here, and other people. Then what does one expect from the same people? Anything different towards another people in a way? Right? But there were enough other ones that helped stop that. Right? It was done together. Right? with the courage of a few, and then people who stood behind them. Right? Okay. But, so I thought, ask God, I said, hey, Father, why have so many, if it's creating so many problems? Why have that? What was the thought behind that, to create people in all these different ways? And it comes down to races. Right? Ugh, I even hate the word hate. I do. I wish it didn't exist. Why do people have to look at each other that way? Doesn't make sense to me. Well, anyway. So I asked the question. I even went and looked up. So, okay, why? What's the scientific explanation of? And we've heard that. Well, it's because of the people adapted to the climate. This and that. So, what? So they were born one way. Everybody was born the same way. Okay, to begin with, there was just one race, and then they adapted to their climate. And what? Change the color of their skin or the shape of their eyes? What? How does that make sense? So, Spirit World, Reska says, you have the answer to that. Why don't you look into what's going on in the principles of creation? Oh, so it did. Oh. All right, so let me ask you this. How come horses, for example, don't have the same problem that we have? Do you know where Arabians come from? Horses? Oh. And they do best in that climate. Arabian horses are amazing horses when it comes to the way they are built, and they don't do well. For example, an Arabian horse would not do well here. And the reason is it's too mountainous. It's too rock. They're desert horses, more or less. Okay. Yes? And because they're so light, their skeletal structure so light, they fly. That's why they're so good in races, right? Yes? Okay, all right. Oh, so there is one. And where does it come from? Oh, okay. Then we have from Europe, right, where winters, especially in the north, this and that, we have what? Yeah. Horses, stocky horses, work horses, right? Stocky, and they have way more hair than an Arabian does, for example. I see the difference here with the ones we have. Maverick grows a winter coat, but nothing. Right? He is a Tennessee Walker quarter horse mix. Okay, he could be something else too, right? We don't know. Right? Everything here, really, when it comes in the mountains here, I don't think there's a purebred of anything anymore. It's all just mixed up, right? But it makes for good living here for them. That's kind of how they adapted, right? Become a mutt. Oh, mutts are great too. Okay, all right. When it comes to dogs. Oh, another one. So the other horses that we have here that are like the Pasifino that we have, okay, he grows an incredible, has a amazing mane, right? Yes, and gets a real thick coat. His feet are much more, and his ankles are much more stocky as well, right? Does really well here in the mountains. And so does our 14 hand, considered a pony, Charlie, right? And lots of hair. Our donkey, it's like, takes him half the year to shed his coat, right? And then it's just about time for him to regrow it. So different things going on with different animals, though the breed, when it comes down to race, is the same. Right? Yes? Yeah. Okay. Now, why do the horses not have a problem with each other? Are they looking at each other as... Oh, that's Oh, that needs to be regarded as this or that. Or do horses feel like, I'm misunderstood, I'm not getting the due? So which one of the horses would you say in the world, right, is supreme to any of the other horses? How about dogs? There are lots of dogs that come from Asia. They're kind of funny looking, some of them, right? But they come from Asia, and okay, well, so were they bred that way? I don't know, but they do come from there, and they're interesting little dogs. This, I guess they have some big dogs. Then we have the huskies and stuff like that, right? Yes, that's a specific what? Snow breed. Yes. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would get a husky when they live in the deep south somewhere where it gets really hot this and that. Right? Then you're not thinking as a dog owner, right? They don't belong in a climate like that. Yes. True? Huh? Okay, all right. Oh, do dogs have a problem? When it comes, they fight for dominance sometimes. That just depends, right? Yes, but do they have a problem according to where they come from which part of the world they were raised at, or bred, this and that, and then end up I don't know where around the world? Did they? No. The only creation of God that has a problem with that is what? Who? The human race. Human being. Mankind. Let's call it mankind from now on. Oh, you can't say mankind. That offends some people. Are you kidding me? Huh? Interestingly enough, that's why we call God also Father in heaven, right? It's because mankind includes what? Everybody. Mankind is man, woman, child, right? Yes? Done. Mankind. Right? But someone suddenly decided to have a problem with that. You get my drift? Yeah. So, again, who came up with this idea? That instead of addressing root problems, right, like slavery, but slavery is not because of racism. Slavery has existed for, and I think we all know that by now, right? If you have really studied up this now, go read the Bible, right? Okay? What did the first people really look like? Oh, Adam and Eve. I mean, gosh, really? Who says they were one color or another, one race or another? Does it matter? How about we just start? Okay, Daniela, don't go there. Have we not come past all that yet? Have not people all over the world worked together for each other? Have they not? That does not mean we're going to accept perversion, filthy people with filthy desires. That's not what that means to me. That needs to be addressed as well. And that needs to be stopped. Too many children are affected by that. Too many children suffer under that. For people's selfish desires out there. And then they turn it around and make it, what, my fault? Oh, that's because, no, you don't get to do that. We don't do that, okay? That's quite clear to me. No, not even. But, again, people can't be proud of who they are, huh? What they got, what they're born as, can't be. Look what you're living at. But what time? Huh? I think sometimes, right? We talk about ancestor restoration. Oh, I have problems, because my ancestors, unfinished business, this, that, and I'm the one as a descendant has to carry it now. That's true. There is that. But the other thing is, be grateful to your ancestors as well. What they have gone through for you to be where you can be at now. And don't make excuses for your lives because they're not hunky-dory or this or that. It's not okay. That's not okay. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. So, besides that, yes, we should recognize certain things that are happening is because of our ancestors. It needs restoring. Yet, there are many things too that our ancestors did all over the world, went through the suffering, went through the I don't know what, right? Yes. And that's why we are where we are at now. And to make excuses for our existence because we were born as one race rather than another, right? Nothing to do with people accepting people or not, because as I said, there's a small percentage out there, right, who makes it look like it's so many. To me, okay. To also be grateful, not to make excuses. You do get to be the best you can be now. You do. If you do what? Follow the 10 Commandments, follow God's laws, heaven's laws, right? Yes? Yeah. Nobody was born. I heard something there too, and I'm not going to get into it. It made me mad. Nobody was born with a curse. You're not born with a curse. The curse just accumulates as time goes on, and not because of people around you, more or less. But anyway, one could write a big old book about that. I think the people who are listening with the right heart to mind know what I'm talking about, on how races and racism and all that jazz. Nope, nope, nope. Because I don't feel that way. Well, you have to acknowledge and no, I don't. I won't have any give and take with any of that. I'm done. I said, I saw this beautiful girl. Oh, great, Baker. And I look at him going, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Most beautiful complexion. And most black people do have they look beautiful to me. What they can all do with their hair amazes me. Yes, I wouldn't look good in all them braids. I worked as a hairdresser, right? I was 14. I started apprenticeship. Well, that had its reasons, and had to quit that because I couldn't stand at that time. You still when you made the curls and stuff. What do they call it? A perm. I couldn't work with gloves. It was so hard for me to work with gloves with these little tiny little things that we used to roll up the hair, and I got a bad allergic reaction on my hands, and I was told by the doctor, you have to quit. This is not the job for you. But I was there long enough to see, people come in and make all these little braids, yeah, and no, it doesn't look good on a white person. Well, that's your opinion as well. Yes, it is. I think it looks fantastic. Okay, on black people, it looks beautiful, and certain other hairstyles that they have too. Beautiful, love it, absolutely love it. Right? Then long hair, right? Long hair in Asian, especially the men. Okay, now you can watch them dramas. They have the long hair, and it's like the historic dramas and stuff like that. And that too. Can you imagine anybody walking around here with in the Ming Dynasty, where they had so much shaved off and then they just had that long braid going down? Can you imagine that looking good on anybody else except for Asian people, the Chinese people? Can you? I can't, but it looks great on them. Right? Yes? Okay. Well, that's their culture. That was their style. So, well, okay. People can look at it however they want to. So, we have all these beautiful attributes, right? All people all over the world in their prospective countries, continents, this and that. And we can't just focus on that. That's what I'm focusing on. Duh. Right? Can I? Is that okay? As I said, we're the only species on Earth who seem to have a beef with how some are born or some are not. So, yep, I hear all the buts and ifs and I don't know what, but that's how I see it. And if we don't start to just, it has to start somewhere. Like you have to start somewhere to not want to go to war. It has to start somewhere where you say, well, if I'm going to start following the 10 Commandments, there's a whole lot of stuff I can't do, and yes, I'm going to be very vulnerable out there. But it has to start somewhere. Someone has to start somewhere. Because if you don't, it'll never change, right? Yes? Okay, all right. Got that out of the way? So, oh, I've been having some dreams, the odd ones. I can't remember right now. I'll have to. It's not the first time. I've had this dream for about three times now. Not in succession. Not night after night. And it has to do with understanding man and understanding woman, kind of thing. A very interesting dream. But I can't. As I say, it's not quite stabilized yet. Where I'm getting the whole thing. In fact, I can't hardly remember now what this is what happens to me. But I remember I've had the same dream. That I do remember. Anyway, when it becomes clear what it is about, I will share it. If that's what Spirit World requires. Anywho, so oh, so I talked about this. So now you want me to, and then I'm getting ready to talk about what? You guys realize that we're supposed to be doing Bible study here? Ah, we talked about that too. That's right. All right. So we are in Deuteronomy 12 and the big super chapter 2, the Deuteronomic Code. Deuteronomic Code. Deuteronomic Code. See, eventually I do get it right. 12. Now there are the laws and customs which you must keep in the country which Yahweh, God of your ancestors, is giving you as yours, and which you must observe every day that you live in that country. The place of worship. Oh. You must completely destroy all the places where the nations you dispossess have served their gods on high mountains, on hills, under all these commandments that I enjoin on you today. Loving Yahweh. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That was I just skipped up back to 11 there. On hills, under any spreading tree, you must tear down their altars, smash their sacred stones, burn their sacred poles, hack to bits the statues of their gods, and obliterate their name from that place. Not so must you behave towards Yahweh your God. You must seek Yahweh your God in the place which he will choose from all your tribes, there to set his name and give it a home. That is where you must go. Oh, that's just what happened with our celestial condition. That is where you must bring your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and offerings, held high your votive offerings and your voluntary offerings and the firstborn of your herd and flock, and that is where you must eat in the presence of Yahweh your God, rejoicing over your labors, you and your households, because Yahweh your God has blessed you. Okay, we know what that all means, this and that. But here's one thing that's just, that really, see, to me, this is again, yes, understanding God, right? Weave your way through the maze. And that is where you must eat in the presence of Yahweh your God, rejoicing over your labors, you and your households, because Yahweh your God has blessed you. God wants to hear what you have to tell him. He wants to hear the stories. Depending on who you want to address when it comes to God, right? Father or mother, or both, heavenly parents. Wants to hear. He wants to rejoice. And so what you do? Was your yield good this night? Yes, let me tell you about it. Right? Can one be excited like that over something that you can't see? Or, all right, well, your harvest, for example, that's right there. What does that prove? Who taught you that to begin with? Who gave you the seeds? Oh, to begin with. Is that any different in any other continent? Some places where you don't quite grow as much vegetables, this and that, because it's real cold and all that. You go fishing, you come home with, man, I had a good catch this today. Does it matter who catches it? Does it matter who grows it? There's a reason always why I start with certain things before we read. You think God's going to rejoice less or more over one or the other person that comes and shares their joy in life with God? Yes or no? I used to harvest as an example. There's so many other things. Yes? I woke up, I heard the rain. I'm going, oh, thanks, guys. Yesterday it was rain and sun and plants. And today it's already raining. Don't have to walk. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what that's going to mean, right? I will share a lot of happy, joyful moments with my heavenly parents when I pick my vegetables and stuff out there. Does that make sense? Yes, to some. Completely foreign language to others, then you should learn that language. All right. Anywho. So, right there. Just found a little gem right here. Oh, I'm going to mark that. We mark gems. Right here. I marked it a little more here. Yes, I mark my Bible. Okay. You must not behave as we are behaving here today, each of you doing what he himself sees fit, since you have not yet come to the resting place and the heritage that Yahweh your God is going to give you. You are about to cross the Jordan and live in the country given you by Yahweh your God as your heritage. He will grant you peace from all the enemies surrounding you, and you will live in safety. To the place chosen by Yahweh your God as a home for his name, to that place you must bring all the things that I am laying down for you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and offerings held high, and all the best of your possessions dedicated by you to Yahweh. That is where you will rejoice in the presence of Yahweh your God, you and your sons and daughters, your serving men and women, and the Levite living in your community, since he has no share or heritage of his own among you. Oh, look, this is teaching us something about jealousy. Why are you jealous about someone else that has more than you do? You're not supposed to have much anyway, according to this. Oh, but today, look. Oh, okay. God's not unchanging then, right? Okay. Just saying. Right? You're supposed to give the best that you have. To whom? Which means you share it. Of course. What's God going to do with all that? Right? It's to teach you to. Remember. Yes. So, jealousy needed because someone has more than you do? Gets more than you do? Really? Okay. Sacrificial regulations. Take care you do not offer your burnt offerings in all the sacred places you see. Only in the place that Yahweh chooses in one of your tribes may you offer your burnt offerings and do all the things which I have commanded you. Staying centered and focused, right? Too many places of worship, what happens? Oh, we already know what happens with that, right? Yeah. Too many denominations. This notwithstanding, and whenever you wish, you may slaughter and eat meat wherever you live, as much as the blessing of Yahweh affords you. Oh. Clean or unclean may eat it, as though it were gazelle or deer. You will not, however, eat the blood, but will pour that like water on the ground. Man, see now? And this is where I wonder, okay, I've heard this enough. Well, the Old Testament now, that's obsolete, and, one doesn't really go by that anymore. So, that means the Ten Commandments don't stand anymore either? You see there? Okay, it's not obsolete, okay? And the thing is, again, with the blood, I've been thinking about that. I need to think more about it because blood sausage is so good. Yet, well, there's other things you're not supposed to eat, this and that, right? Yeah, I don't know. Is this now, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. Eventually I come across something. Why that is the blood offering of animals. Does it have to do with lineage? Does it have to do with the principles of creation? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But I haven't had any blood sausage in forever and ever. And forever and ever. But I can still taste it. So good. I know. How would anybody eat that? Because it's so good. And but reading this now, because I don't know, why not? Why can't I eat that? I really want to. Besides, I grew up like that. Nobody told me I couldn't eat it. But now I'm learning and going, okay, I probably won't eat any blood sausage or anything that contains right? As I said, most animals, when you slaughter them, they get bled, and that is that. And the blood actually does go into the ground, okay? Yes? Unless they're being slaughtered in a slaughterhouse, where then it just gets washed somewhere, right? But here, it always went into the ground. Okay, all right, all right. And you bleed the animals of all the blood. So is this again mainly to make sure that the meat gets processed properly for consumption? But since I don't know, I'm not going to. No, no. I have to have some clarity on that first, on why, right? That wasn't permissible then, and does that still apply today? Right? Yes. Well, going way back into the old days and saying, well, okay, it's come up again. I have to listen to that, and since I haven't figured it out quite yet, so you must not eat the tithe of your wheat, of your new wine, or of your oil, or the firstborn of your herd or flock, or any of your votive offerings or voluntary offerings, or your offerings held high to Yahweh at home. You must eat these in the presence of Yahweh your God, in the place Yahweh your God chooses, and there alone you, your son, and your daughter, your serving man and serving woman, and the Levite living in your community, expressing your joy. Oh, this is a good one. In all your labors. There you go again. In the presence of Yahweh your God. Oh, that's an interesting one here. And the Levite living in your community. As long as you live on your soil, be careful not to neglect the Levite. So every tribe had, every tribe had Levites assigned to them. Again, for spiritual guidance. Didn't I talk about that yesterday? Okay. Do not neglect the Levite. I think, again, this is more God's trying to establish a tradition, right, of constancy, commitment, right? Yes? To whom? What does he say first? You will destroy everything that has nothing to do with me and everything to do with false idols and false gods and this and that. That's got to go. Then you're not going to start doing whatever in all these different places. You will have a communal place to come together as a tribe. Oh, hang on, guys. Oh, 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 oh. Yes! 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 Come here! Come here! Come on. Oh, I saw that. No! Come on. Come on. Oh, who's in trouble? Were you out there too? Oh, somebody was chasing the roosters around out there. Huh? Yes. So, So, I don't want the chickens in the yard right now. And the reason I don't want them in the front yard right here is because I'm growing all this stuff. And our chickens can fly. So even if I put something around the bed so the dogs can't get in it and dig around in it or whatever, the chickens can still fly in it. So I don't want them in here. And Jake is great to just chase them out. Right? Yes? He won't. He'll just chase them out. So, against my better judgment, I thought, well, I don't have to get off the porch then to chase the chickens out. So here, Jake, go on, go get him, this, that. And Gus, I saw it. Gus wouldn't do it, but he was watching, and now he's chasing the chickens around again out there. Okay. Gus, come here. What did you do? Hey, what did you do out there? Sit. Sit. No. No chasing chickens. No. You hear me? Yeah. Okay. Just learned my lesson here again. Thought I'd get away with it. Too lazy. Have the one dog do it who won't do anything. And the other one is just learn not to kill chickens, right? And what am I doing? Yeah. There you go. Good lesson. Again. All right. Let's keep reading. Gus. Okay. So, and have it in, one in each, which means 12 places max, right? Yes? And then the tent of meeting, I don't know, is there one that is the 13th one where, all the Israelites on the specific holidays just now come together and have the big old 7-day feasts and this. Remember those? Yeah. Mentioned in here? Yeah. So that what? Yeah. 12 tribes is manageable, right? When you suddenly just go by the clans, then how many little places suddenly will you have, right? And how are things suddenly going to change then? Rather than the Levites making sure, okay, this is all being taken care of properly. Everybody, all the 12 tribes are following the guidance and instructions of God, the direction, right? Yes? Even 12 tribes must have been difficult, I have no doubt, right? Yeah, look around the world what's happened. Millions, billions of Christians now. But are they all united? Okay, I think I made my point. All right, so when Yahweh your God enlarges your territory as he has promised you, and you say, I should like to eat meat, if you want to eat meat, you may eat as much as you like. If the place in which Yahweh your God chooses to set his name is too far away, you may slaughter any of your herd or flock that Yahweh has given you, as I have prescribed for you. You may eat as much of it as you please at home, but you must eat it as you would gazelle or deer. Clean and unclean may eat together. Take care, however, not to eat the blood, since blood is life. Oh, here we go. And you must not eat the life with the meat. Oh. It has to do with the lineage then. But one doesn't eat blood sausage with other meat. I never did. Okay, all right. I'm getting this a little better here now. Again, one could argue that, well, after Jesus died on the cross and shed all that blood, right? Then that kind of restored that. So now you can eat, say blood sausage and certain other things that people do make with fresh blood. I don't think I would. I know that. Okay, there's some practices. Okay, I'm not going to go there. You're not going to get me to drink fresh blood. It ain't going to happen. Okay, no way. That's just gross. Vampires don't exist. Okay, they just don't. Unless you want to. Hey, as I said, people come up with these things. Oh, vampire. Oh, that is for some people. Again, not persecuting and judging you. I'm just letting you know. How does that make sense? A vampire, okay? You're not a vampire. Huh? If you're sucking blood, or that's something that I don't know how anyone could be attracted to that, but okay, then you're not a vampire, you're a tick. Ticks suck blood, okay? They have these little pincers, okay? Like, actually just like fangs, here. They have these little pincers, and when they hook into your skin or a dog's skin or whatever that has blood to suck, okay, they have this little pouch on the back, and they suck your blood, and the pouch blows up. Now think about what a bloodsucker is in the principles of creation. Because I know that supposedly it's because of the vampire bat. Okay, I don't know if they actually exist, because I don't know of any vampire that sucks blood, bat that sucks blood. So I'm not sure where that came from. I'll go and look it up. Maybe there is one. I have no idea. But you're not a vampire when you suck blood, or you have this weird something going on, right? Well, examine your head for starters, because there's something not right there, okay? Well, that's a fact, okay? But you should call yourself a tick. Oh, now, and because they do have these two pincers, the little things that hook in, right? And then start sucking your blood. Stick it in a pouch on their backs why they get so big. Right? Oh. Now suddenly, that's not that attractive anymore. Huh? Right? Yes. Yeah, that's when you come across someone who knows a little bit about science and biology and the world of plants and animals. Just saying. People so freaking weird out there. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Vampires. All right. I tell you what, yep. If you have to have something that sets you so far apart from what you actually are, then find something that makes more sense. I said, call yourself a tick, right? You're a tick. You want to be a tick. Because that's what ticks do. That's why they have those pincers. Just saying. Okay? Now, having said that, anybody listens who find another hobby. I'm sure that you're good at something really amazing, but it's not being a tick. Okay. All right. Unbelievable. Okay. Okay. Blood is life. You must not eat the life with the meat. See? All right. You must not eat it, but must pour it like water on the ground. You must not eat it, so that you and your children after you may prosper, doing what is right in Yahweh's eyes. But the holy things of yours, and the things which you have dedicated, you must go and take to the place chosen by Yahweh. The burnt offerings of meat and blood must be presented on the altar of Yahweh your God, whereas in your sacrifices the blood must be poured on the altar of Yahweh your God. The meat you yourselves may eat. Faithfully keep and obey all these orders which I am giving you, so that you and your children after you may prosper forever, doing what is good and right in the eyes of Yahweh your God. It almost seems like to me too, with all these sacrifices, this and that, and how that was all done, and I know it sounds really gross, and it kind of is, but the one thing again is, right, to make sure that God now, right, He's finally has this people to make sure that they're constantly reminded on who their God is, what God is, and what is expected of them. when it comes to all that. And the reason is not because God wants to feel the King of Kings. He is the heavenly emperor, earthly emperor, this, that. He's got the number one seat, right? That's not it. Not at all. You really think God's like that? Then all the power-hungry number ones out there would be fine, right? No. If the guidance is followed, then what happens to you and your kids? You'll do well. Why would you do well? Because your head's on straight. It will be on straight. It'll get on straighter. And as generations go forward, it'll get better. Now, certain things in this world right now are better than they used to be. Right? Still working on a lot of stuff, but some things are better. Few things. Yeah. Anywho. Right? And there you go. Prosper. And what I'm finding too is the emphasis on the physical offerings, right? The physical part, right? And it doesn't really say anything about on how the Levites taught the people to pray, taught the people, right, spiritually to have a connection to heaven, right, to God, right, to the ultimate Father, ultimate Mother, right? The Creator. It doesn't say anything here. Hasn't really. There is all our forefathers, right? Whoever all they are. In this case, Moses and Aaron, and I don't even know Aaron. Right? Moses was the only one who said a prayer, as far as I remember. I may be wrong. And when it came to Moses and all the people, right? But it doesn't say anything about the other Levites and what they actually are. Are they just supervising all the physical sacrifices, the offerings, the tithes, making sure, okay, we need an offering for that. You should not have done that. Let's fix that. Right? So all kind of physical stuff. Where's the spiritual stuff? Not much happening, is there? So were the people just not there yet? The physical foundation had to come first. That's a bit backwards, right? From what we're hearing now, that's a bit backwards. Your spiritual growth is just as important as your physical growth. Right? The thing is the physical growth you can't really stop unless life ends, right? The spiritual growth depends on what? Yeah. And won't happen otherwise. So, to grow physically is much easier, right? When it comes down to it, in the right, environment. It's much easier and it just happens. So was that kind of the same thing there? That the physical offerings, tithes, was much easier for them to do because the spiritual aspect of their lives, right, wasn't quite understood, known. So through a few, God, in a way, was able to communicate that. That's an interesting one to me. Yeah. Yes. And on how actually successful that was when you consider it. Right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Just that. Those are just my thoughts. Could be wrong. Against Canaanite cults. When Yahweh your God has annihilated the nations confronting you, whom you are going to dispossess, and when you have dispossessed them and made your home in their country, beware of being entrapped into copying them, after they have been destroyed, to make way for you. Oh, wait a second. How can they still be copied if they've all been destroyed? That's a fallible sentence right there, and that's a discrepancy, and that tells you something about, okay. And do not inquire about their gods, saying, how did these nations worship their gods? I'm going to do the same too. This is not the way to treat Yahweh your God, for in honor of their gods they have done everything detestable that Yahweh hates. Yes, in honor of their gods, they even burned their own sons and daughters as sacrifices. Ew. Hey, what kind of gods were they? That's why I don't get. That's the end of 12. That's why I don't understand. Okay, that's why I don't believe in the story of Abraham, that God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. Then that would make sense. That will not make sense. Okay, done. Not going there. So who knows who put that in there? No. Oh, he wasn't going to say, no. Because Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son too. So then how does that make sense? I point the finger at something that. Okay, all right. Oh, no. You see, again. Oh, so you think God, no, nothing to do with God. I know how people are. I know how mankind is. I know how they put things out there. And then when the truth comes out, oftentimes it's 360 degrees around different. Not just 180. No truth at all. Zero. Yes. So again, I'm reading going, well, if everybody's destroyed, then there's nobody to ask, right? Everything's taken care of, and all you have is just what? Your thing, okay? Your altars, your directions given to you. So there's no need for, right? Oh, unless people aren't happy. Then they go start looking for something else, right? Yes? But if there's nothing around anymore, so again, which tells us, no, not everybody was destroyed. No, not the people weren't killed of these other nations and tribes. They some of them may have. I don't know. They may have engaged in war. I don't know. But no. But there was one thing: you're going to have to be stronger. Your household has to be stronger than their household. You will teach them what I've taught you, and you will not be ensnared and entrapped by the promises that the people are making about their gods. How many times are young people, especially, not just young people, age doesn't seem to matter anymore these days. Everybody can get ensnared by something their parents said no to, warned them against. Don't let. But it looks too appetizing. Being ensnared. It's too bad that I'll give you a little example of that. It's too bad that people can't just be more honest with their children. More honest. Be 100% honest. Right? One doesn't have to. There are ways to explain something to children depending on their age that is strong, with purpose, but not forcefully. How do you say? Beaten into them or anything like that. Right? But what is advertised nowadays is everybody is so feeble-minded now, so weak-minded, so vulnerable-minded that you can't actually say the truth and say, if you do this, and this, and this is going to happen, and it won't be good. Do you know what I mean? So, so I'm going to give you a couple of examples on examples. I guess I have to go through so that I can share it and show you guys the difference or on what I'm talking about and how, in a way, on how I've learned that from my give and take with my heavenly parents, right? On how I was treated by heaven, where, yeah, you go right ahead and you do that. And it's going to end up like that. And sure enough, it did. And when I would listen, then, and even if it was difficult, to stay focused, to not to give in to some weird stuff, that I didn't want to be a part of anymore, then, or not at all, then it was difficult. It was very difficult to stand that stance against everybody else. Yeah. Okay. So I know someone, and I'm not going to name names, this or that, personally, and drinking and driving's been a problem there. All through her life, that has been a problem. And accidents and loss of license 2 or 3 times, fences plowed down, on and on and on. And she was in her 50s already, and I get a call, oh, guess what, this and that, And there were some other things. The person had drugs for a long time in their life, and suicidal, and who knows what, okay? Been in psychiatric care, I don't know how many times, this and that. And, but when it came to, so one would think, well, that's just a weak person, and they've gone through, no, that person had a good upbringing, had everything she needed, everything she needed, had good guidance when it came also to the spiritual, the physical, good guidance, right, with God, this and that, and had a very strong personality. Now, this was not a weak person, okay? This was just a person who wanted to do what they wanted to do, and that's what they were going to do, regardless of the laws and regulations that are out there to live together in peace and harmony and safety. To me, that doesn't mean that she couldn't drink. To me, that meant you can't drink and drive. Her answer to that one time was, oh, I don't drink and drive. I drink first and then I drive. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So the last time I get a call, oh, I got my license taken again, and this is what they did, and it's always somebody else. It's never her fault, okay? And they did this, and they did that, and I think they lied, and I don't know what, and I listened, and when she was done, I said, I can't believe you did this again. Are you stupid or something? And now you want me to listen to your sob story. I said, you should never drive again. At your age, still doing this, never should you drive again. You should never be allowed to get your license back. She did. She has her license back again now after a few years. Yeah, that's no. No, you get caught one time drunk and driving, you should never get your license. Ever again. Done. And if that were actually enforced for people at a young age, you get caught. Okay, I'm not talking about, okay, you can't drink till 21, then an 18-year-old gets caught, okay, and, blows at 0.001 or something, or 8 or something, 0.002 or what. That's not drunk. So they did have something to drink, but there's no alcohol per se in their system anymore. That's ridiculous, okay? Supposedly you can get that with mouthwash. I'm just saying. Not that. I'm saying you get caught, even as a teenager, you get caught drunk behind the wheel while you're driving, drunk. I'm talking over the limit on what you should have when you get in a car. You're not capable of discerning things out there anymore. Too slow to react, to this, to that. Then no, done. You never get to drive again. You will never, the rest of your life, you will not get your license back. You will never drive again. On top of that, they should get a tattoo somewhere so everybody knows that's a drunk who drives. To make sure they will never let a person like that behind the wheel again. That's how I feel about it. Same with drugs, by the way. So, then I guarantee you, we would have less deaths on the road immediately. We would have less teenagers with bad driving records and all that. Yeah, I guarantee you. And you know what? It is sad that one has to make a rule, regulations like that. It is sad, isn't it? Maybe that's why one doesn't go and pick up sticks on Sundays. Oh, okay. Right? Well, anyway, well, guess what? She says, well, you're just making me feel bad. I said, well, then I done my job. And we were done with the conversation. Guess what? I got another phone call. Why are you talking to her like that? I said, like what? Like the truth? Well, you know how she is. I said, yep, don't care. I have to care. As the person in that person's life, I have to care for everybody else around her. Because she's not capable of doing that. And if it takes me to talk straight and not accept that kind of, first of all, blaming everybody else, right? And then pretending to be the victim rather than the perpetrator, done. I was done. Yeah, well, it didn't go over well, as you can tell. Again, you tell the truth. Right? People do that. Yeah. Oh, as I said, I got another phone call. Why are you doing, you know how vulnerable she is, and she might just do this, but that's not my problem. She needs to know. She needs to know, and I have no compassion for that anymore. Oh, I didn't do before either, but I was, okay, all right, one can only say so much, and maybe encourage, this, that, and hey, come on now, don't you understand, didn't do any good. Other one. For some reason, I seem to be around suicidal people. Save their lives. Very surprised on that one. Couldn't figure out. That wasn't a young person either. And I found out that they were going to give one of their possessions that they had to somebody. And I was mad. So when everything turned out okay, this, that, and I was able to say, okay, we need to sit down and talk about this. I said, what you want to do with your life? You're selfish, okay? With your own life, that's up to you. Obviously, you don't care about anybody in this world except for you. Oh, but okay. One doesn't understand that what they're going through, they can't see, and it's just like it kind of just takes over and this and that. Okay, all I can tell people out there, I don't know what that feels. Oh, have I never felt like I'd like to leave this world? I'm kind of ready to go. Yes, absolutely. But to kill myself and to leave that kind of a mess behind here, the pain, the hurt that others would go through, pissing on other people's love like that, No, 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 no. One does not do that. Done. I don't care if one has family, children, grandchildren, or if you're completely alone. That's my opinion. And one could talk oneself dumm und dämlich, we say in Switzerland. Dumm und dämlich. But I'm not going to do that here. So I sat that person down. I said, okay, first of all, if I happen to find you, don't worry. I'll be all right. So let's hope that none of your grandchildren will find you. They probably wouldn't be all right. Oh, well, I guess never thought of that. Oh, some don't care. I know of children who found their relatives, brother, mother, father, killed by themselves, young. And you know what? It never turned out well for them. They ended up suffering the rest of their lives because of that. Good job. Selfish morons out there. Okay. Sorry? You're not more important than a child. Sorry, you're not more important than a child. Oh, news to you, huh? Yeah, okay. So I told this person, I said, that possession of yours, you were going to go and give someone else. I said, that really hurt my feelings. Because I'm the one who took care of that as well. I'm the one that you should entrust that with. Not somebody else out there who doesn't know that particular item or knows about that. Oh, I got the, well, that's important to you? I said, yeah. I said, I'm not going to worry about when and how or if or whatever you're going to decide to do that again. What I have to worry about is what you leave behind to make sure that will be taken care of. Uh-huh. Oh. Well, again, right? Yes? You say that, then what do you look like? Having said that, I just used 2 examples of human behavior of 2 people that have completely are off the charts, gone completely off, wrong way when it comes to following what? God's direction. God's direction. Commitment to God. The 10 Commandments. Well, all I can say is every time I talk straight with people like that, not wouldn't be per se mad at them or just say, hey, let's lay out some facts here, and that is that. And then you can look at that as oh, you're just being mean and hateful, or look at it as tough love coming from above to not just save your life, but the people's lives that you're endangering around you. Right? Yes? That's not, people don't want to hear that. No, they don't. And I have no doubt that when God gave Moses all these directions, and Moses went, and then the Levites went, the tribes, and told everybody, this is what we need to do now. You don't want to do that? You don't want to do that? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean I have to give? What do you mean I have to? And yet, what did they have to be reminded of again? What did God all do for you? You're still not happy, and you can't just follow a few guidelines. Stick with it, because that is the best thing for you. That is the blessed way. That's how you prosper. So you won't what? Disappear? Perish? Oh. Interesting. Right. Well, there you go. I can't help it. I might not have that much time to give all that out there, right? Yes? Yeah? When I hear psychiatrists and therapists and this and that talk, I'm going, man, they need one themselves. No, what they need is God. They need God in their life. Too lazy to read the Bible or some other good spiritual book? There's some good ones out there that you can pick and choose from, and what really works for your life. The main thing is there are 10 commandments, 10 items to live by. Start with that. A prayer, the Lord's Prayer. Start with that. That's what I tell people. Look at that. Oh, here's the thing. Well, how does one not suddenly fall into the pits of despair again? That's such an easy thing to do, too. So much harder to climb back out of it. Then why do you even fall into it? Have the 10 Commandments in the Lord's Prayer. Write it down. Have it next on your nightstand. When you wake up, on the wall, have it right there. Start listening to music that lifts you up rather than drags you farther down. Or into, I know, I wish that's happened to me. I wish I had love too. Bobbity, 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 oh, blah, blah, blah. What good does that do? I know people talk to others like this. What good does that do? Well, it's then the moment comes, then don't let the moment come. And you practice. The other thing too, have a support person or two. Where you go say, okay, I'm going to do this, and this. And the thing is, when I start to feel, I'm going to make an effort to talk to you first. Right? Yes? And then what I need to do is I just need to whine at you. I don't need any, I just need you to listen. Because that's often what people just need, to get it out. You swallow, right? Even though it's not good for you, you swallow, right? It accumulates, and then suddenly it wants to break free. That's just how it is. Yes? Anyway, yeah? You eat, right? You eat. Yeah? Eventually you have to go poop or pee. You can't hold it. It's not going to happen. Anybody's ever gone through that? Right? It's the same in the spirit. The spirit eventually, if you just take things in that need digesting spiritually as well, and you don't, well, guess what? Suddenly you can't hold it in. And how does it come out? So make use of one or two friends of yours. Say, look, when I call you and I need to talk, I said, just listen, please, just listen to me. I don't need advice. I don't need this or that. I said, you don't need to come over. Or you could, and we could have coffee and I'd do the same thing if you can stand it. Right? And, and we can even set the timer so I don't go on for 2 hours. You could just say, okay, I have 15 minutes. Right? And when the 15 minutes is up, then the person, okay, the 15 minutes is up. Are you feeling better? Do you know what I mean? Right? There has to be a give and take there too, right? You don't suddenly want to just, okay, all right. People feel taken advantage of immediately, even if they say yes to something, right? Yeah. Oh, here's the other one. Do what I do. I don't do it for that reason, but make little videos. Talk to the people about misery, this and that. Then watch the video again. Why not? Many different ways. But the thing is, if you start doing that, you will not. I'm not going to fall into the pit of despair. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. No matter what happens. Okay. You practice not doing that. And then guess what? Get over it. You do. Not only that, guarantee you, you're going to become an amazing person out there, suddenly talking about God, giving people hope, right? Saving others from despair, from the pit of despair, right? Yes? I found that some of the people I've come across that you could say they're the worst of the worst or this or that. It's just no hope. Or we're some of the most sensitive people ever. That if life would have just gone a little bit differently, this or that, they would be an incredible, loving asset in the world of mankind. Incredible. But something got to them first, and it's physically and spiritually destroying them. It's very sad. Very sad. And oftentimes, children suffer under that. Again, children suffer under that as well. Not just the person who's, say, one reason or another, got into whatever, right? Yes? Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to share today. How long? Over an hour? Oh, that's my longest video yet, I think. Well, needed to be said, I guess. Not sure what's going on out there. I do know the Celestial Palace has been inaugurated and it's standing there. And what did we just read about that? We are there, people. Okay? The foundation, physical foundation, spiritual foundation is there for God in this world, in one part of the world. To have his primary seat. Heavenly Parents' primary seat. Well done, my brothers and sisters. Well done. Okay, there. Yes? Wow, this kind of proves it to me. All right. Well, anyway. If I offended anybody, I apologize. I humbly apologize. I humbly ask for understanding on why I need to talk this way as well. Okay? It's not because of hate or whatever towards anyone. It's to save everyone's life. Everybody would love to have a fulfilling, right, beautiful, joyful life. When you go on Sunday to church, don't you want to go joyful? When you go to the meeting place of God, don't you want to go joyful and share your joy? We can only do that 100% if we do what? Follow God's direction. In everything. The 10 items, the 10 commandments is a good start. Yes? All right. So, there it is. Can we just get along with each other out there? Huh? All you beautiful people, amazingly looking people. God created you so. Why would you be unhappy about that? Anyway, God's love and blessings. May He protect you, and I will talk to you all another time.